Alright, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Crypto, Coffee and LoFi. I know we did an episode yesterday morning, but we missed out on Monday, so still going with the 3 days a week. If you guys missed the tweet the other day, this series is now sponsored and backed by Delta Exchange. So if you want to support the series, you want to support me making these episodes for free for you guys, click the link in the description below, sign up with them, make a deposit, help us out. Like I explained in the previous episode, I've done up a few tutorial videos, PDFs, and slideshows that are exclusively available for the people who do sign up and make a deposit. So if you sign up, make a deposit to Delta, send me a screenshot on Twitter, and I'll put you down for the list for that. And at any point, if you want to learn more about anything that I'm talking about here, you can go to the start of my YouTube channel and you can find the tutorials there. But for those of you that are new here, I'm essentially just using the same pattern to find support, resistance, accumulation, and distribution. Once I find those areas of support, I kind of treat them as a point of interest, and then I look for accumulation or distribution to then occur again at those levels. So I am using the same pattern to find accumulation and distribution. So what is that pattern? Think of a sweep and then a break-in structure. So here on Ethereum, we have a pretty good example. So sweeping out this high, then breaking below the swing low that's responsible for taking that high right here. And you can see we then revisit that range and form the same pattern again. So sweeping out this high, breaking below the low. So my bias hasn't really changed here since the previous episode, so feel free to go and check that out. But seeing as though we are sitting at some higher time frame support here, there are a few things that I would expect. Okay, so I would expect a ranging choppy market, which is exactly what we've seen this week, and I would also expect shorts here to get shaken out. So I think over the next few days, at some point, we even maybe today, we will take out Monday's high on both Ethereum and Bitcoin. But I'll go over my plan here in a sec. Let's actually start off with BTC. So you can see we are sitting at higher time frame support or higher time frame accumulation. Some of these songs are a hit and miss, eh? So sweeping out this low, breaking above the high is responsible for taking that low. Revisiting this range, taking out these lows, breaking above the high. So over the last few days, we revisited this area. The best thing to do is if you start seeing distribution above an area of accumulation, you can short into that area of accumulation. So you see the accumulation, you see the jump up, you then see distribution above the area of accumulation. You can then short into it. But what you shouldn't do, of course you can do whatever you want, but in my opinion, what you shouldn't do is then, once we do reach into the support, you shouldn't really be shorting here. It can be a little bit risky. So I think for the time being, Bitcoin is going to head up, take Monday's high, and then going to jump down onto the lower time frames. So you can see we took, I believe this is Monday's low, or it might be, sorry, one sec. Yeah, down here. Where are we at? Wednesday, Tuesday. Yeah, right here. So you can see we took out Monday's low. Breaking above the high is responsible for taking that low and seeing some lower time frame accumulation here as well. So that's a good sign because we are at support and we did see accumulation after taking Monday's low. In my opinion, the next destination for us to head towards would then be Monday's high, which is sitting right here. So I think today we see some manipulation around London Open, which then should be followed by a move up. So I still think that the overall higher time frame direction is bearish. I'm just not 100% sold on the idea of shorting at support, at least until we do get some manipulation. So some manipulation would look like a sweep above Monday's high, followed by some distribution. If we get an entry trigger here on the lower time frames after taking Monday's high, then I'll look to re-enter my swing shorts. But for now, I think that's a little bit risky. We are seeing the first signs of some lower time frame distribution, but it's a little bit too early. Don't really like getting into positions right before London Open. They normally get stopped out. Sweeping out these equal highs, breaking below the low that was responsible for taking those highs, getting the close below right here. So what we're seeing is a return to that area. We've now taken out this high. If we do get a move below the low that was responsible for taking that high, something like this, then that could be a short trigger. If we get a move like that, I will enter short, looking at taking profit below these lows. If we then get accumulation below these lows, then I'll look to cut my short and re-enter a long position into Monday's high. But for now, I'm not seeing really any setups on Bitcoin until we get some obvious manipulation around an open. I think I'm just going to be staying out of that one. Ethereum, a similar story. So sitting at higher time frame support, taking out this low, breaking above the high. This is not the best place to be looking for swing shorts, at least until we do get some manipulation. We took out Monday's low yesterday and we started to accumulate. So let's here's the higher time frame broken base is our higher time frame support. So reaching into the higher time frame support, taking out Monday's low, sweeping out these equal lows on the lower time frames, breaking above the high that was responsible for taking that low right here, and then just continuing up. So it's looking pretty obvious here. I think we may just get a push up into Monday's high. If we do get that push up and then some distribution, something like this, then I'll look to enter short. There's not enough evidence to suggest that we should be looking for higher time frame longs here yet until we start to invalidate previous areas of distribution on the higher time frames. Then there's no use looking for higher time frame longs. So taking out this high, breaking below the low, you can see the obvious distribution. Essentially, the idea is if price has distributed, you should assume that it's going to continue down until that distribution fails, or until basically the people that were selling at these levels are starting to let go of those positions and are no longer interested in selling at these levels. So I think Monday's high is the next obvious spot for us to be heading towards. Yeah, really trying not to overcomplicate anything. Similar story again on AVAX. So we're in this channel here. Obvious distribution the whole way down. So taking out this high, breaking below the low that was responsible for taking that high. And then once we return, you can see we take out these highs, breaking below this low, hitting that, and then selling off. I think before we do continue any kind of big leg up, we need to retest this previous accumulation. So taking out this low, breaking above the high. Since this big leg up, we haven't yet retested it properly. We came close, we didn't quite get there. So I'm thinking like Bitcoin and Ethereum, I think the most obvious scenario to play out would be a move above Monday's high, where we then see distribution. If I do get an opportunity on the 1 minute time frame to long into Monday's high, I will. Atom, I'm in a long here already, so you can see we move below these equal lows and we've been accumulating on the lower time frames. So if you move below equal lows into support, that isn't the best time to be shorting, but for some reason that is what the majority of the market does. But thankfully that is what provides us our opportunities. So we go on to the M15, taking out these lows, breaking above the high, returning to this range, taking out this low, breaking above the high. And I posted on Twitter earlier today. You can go and check that out. So none of this is hindsight. Taking out these equal lows into this high, then breaking above. So my trigger was around 24.7, so $24.70 is about the area that I entered with my stops below 24.50. So we'll see if that holds up. If it does, then I think like AVAX, Bitcoin, and Ethereum, Monday's high is the next destination. If we distribute above there, then I'll look to enter short. So yeah, pretty much everything is printing the exact same pattern. Moving into support, we're seeing lower time frame accumulation, so long scalps are favored until proven otherwise. We might see a setup to get short on Bitcoin. If we get that, I will take it as a hedge for my longs. But for now, I think on pretty much everything we come up and take Monday's high. No worries, guys. So if any of this interests you, you want to learn more, you can click the link in the description below and pick up a copy of the strategy. There's over 500 people in the Discord, all trading the exact same way. So there's a PDF, videos, and a guide giving you actual steps on how to trade. I'm not, or how to trade the strategy. It isn't a course necessarily. It's literally step by step. This is exactly what I would do in a scenario. Other than that, we do have the indicator up here that you can also pick up, and there's a link in the description for that as well. Anyways, guys, I'm going to cut the episode here. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.